Carol Eisenhower here. I wanted to reach out to you today with a message of hope and encouragement during this challenging time for all of us. We all are in this together, and I want to share with you some ideas that I believe will allow you to become stronger. As some of you may know, I'm a Ziglar certified coach and Ziglar legacy trainer, and I believe that our thinking and our attitude is way more important now than it ever was. I've asked my friend Tom Ziglar, the CEO of Zig Ziglar, to share with you a couple of concepts that will really benefit you. Welcome, Tom.
Well, Cheryl, thank you for having me on. And I just know your heart. You love your people, your customers, your family. And it's just great to have you in the Ziglar family as one of our Ziglar certified speakers and trainers. You make a difference out there. And you know what? The world is crazy right now. And with so much going on, that's what we need. Is we need some hope and encouragement, some love, some support. And I'm just proud of you for going the extra mile and doing that. Everybody who's watching this, I just want to share with you what I believe are a couple of concepts that are going to not only allow you to go through this time, because we don't have a choice in that. We all get to go through it. Why not? Let's grow through this time and let's get through it, grow through it stronger than when we came in. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint, and in this PowerPoint, we'll just hit some key points here. My father was Zig Ziglar. He passed away about 7.5 years ago, and he wrote 45 books. You know, the Ziglar Facebook page has over 5 million fans. We estimated he impacted about 250 million people when he was alive. Probably one of the most quotable human beings to ever walk the planet. And I started thinking, if Dad were here, what would he say? What hope, what encouragement, what advice, what wisdom would he share? And I found this quote. And I think this quote really sums up kind of the foundation of what I think is the stronger mindset. And I want you to start thinking about, how can I be stronger? How can I develop this stronger mindset? Well, here's the quote. And we're going to go through all three parts of it. Expect the best, prepare for the worst, maximize what comes. So what does that mean? It means simply this: we got to expect the best. When we're talking with our kids, our family, our spouse, our loved ones, our neighbors, our community, our team members, our customers, whoever it is, we've got to expect the best and we got to bring the best, right? We've got to have this attitude of gratitude, of courageous encouragement and hope. We got to have a little smile on our face that says, you know what? We're in this together and we're going to grow through this together. We're going to come out stronger because of it. Oh no, I'm not saying I'm glad it's happening. If I could change it, I would. If I could create an instant cure, there's no doubt that I would get it out there ASAP. But here's the reality. When we adopt this attitude and we decide that we're gonna go out there and own our attitude and make a difference in the lives of others people, what we do is we lift our own spirit. And scientifically and medically, we know that when we do that, when we have the right attitude, it lifts our own spirit. That in turn gives our immune system a boost. And I can tell you right now that we all need a healthy immune system. And then when we go out and we share this attitude with other people, when they're a little down and we give them some encouragement, when we send them a note, a text, a Facebook message, whatever the case may be, when we let them know, hey, we're with you, it lifts their spirit as well. It gives them a boost of immunity. And this we know, with the virus, we need a strong immune system. Some people are going to get the virus, it's going to be an inconvenience. Other people, it could be a medical emergency. Well, if we can do our part to lift the immunity of those around us and ourselves, maybe the worst case scenario will then just be an inconvenience. That's what we want. We want to have that attitude of expect the best. And then we got to prepare for the worst. So how do those two things go together? Well, it's real simple. Preparing for the worst means things like this. We got to wash our hands 20 seconds at a time, 20 times a day. We got to make sure the kitchen is full so we can take care of our family and those we love if we get locked down. We got to look into the future and we've got to anticipate, how long could this last? Is it 2 months? Is it 6 months? Is it longer? Well, if we prepare for the worst and we start making plans around that, no matter what happens, we're better prepared. And what does better preparation mean? It means that physically we exercise, we eat right, we get the right kind of nutrition, we get enough sleep. You see, what we're doing is we're creating margin in our personal life. And then in our business, the same thing. We're creating margin. And why are we doing that? Why are we having this great attitude and yet working hard preparing for the worst? Well, that's because we want to maximize what comes. You've probably already had it. Somebody's probably already texted you in the middle of the night. You've probably already had that phone call. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. And so when you maximize what comes, what does it mean? It means you zero in. You listen to them with both ears. You let them know you're there. You hear them. You love them. You care for them. You're going to do it together. You give them that hope and encouragement. Why? Because you have the margin to give something. You're prepared. Or maybe you get that phone from a customer or a vendor or somebody who needs your help in their business. Their problems are stacked like 3 feet deep. So what do? You maximize what comes. You get in the middle and you help them solve those problems. And then you do a little bit extra. You see, you give them that hope and that encouragement. You see, when you have the right attitude and you're prepared for whatever comes, then you have the capacity to help them out. One of my friends, Rabbi Daniel Lappin, he says this. He says, God is never happier with his children than when they're solving the problems of his other children. So we need to stand up. We need to be ready. Now, medically, scientifically, we know that this approach has all upside, right? It boosts your immune system, and it doesn't have any downside because you're doing everything you possibly can. But it's even more important for your family. You see, legacy is intentionally preparing those you love to grow through life's most difficult challenges. If you have kids, your spouse, brothers and sisters, mom and dad, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, you've made family, whoever the case is, they're looking to you right now to stand tall in the furnace. They want to see what your face looks like, your countenance, your words. And when you give them hope and you say, hey, we're going to get through this. That's no fun. I don't like it either. But you know what? We're going to get stronger because of it. Then you're teaching them how to grow. Tom Brokaw said this. He said that the greatest generation that our country's ever known was the generation of men and women who went and fought World War II. I mean, think about it. The war started. We were unprepared, didn't have the resources, didn't have the equipment. We went off to war fighting a battle-hardened, superior armed forces. And yet in a few years, we won that war. And then those men and women came home and they created the greatest economic boom in the history of the world. Wow, that's amazing. The greatest generation. But then my good friend Andy Andrews said this. He said, Tom, they weren't the greatest generation. The greatest generation were their parents. You see, the parents who raised the men and women who fought World War II, they raised them during the Great Depression. They didn't have anything. They got up at sunup and they went to bed at sundown, working all day long just to make ends meet. They didn't have stuff. But you know what they did have? They had principles and values and love and respect. They had each other. And all of them knew that we were going to get through this together. And that's where we are today. I firmly believe that when you stand tall in the furnace, when you realize that all the things that are going on, you can be the example. You can be the influence that's going to create the greatest generation that our nation has ever known. Yeah, it's important for our family. And the stronger mindset is the way to go. There's all upside. There is no downside. But what does stronger really mean? Well, part of this concept was influenced by the book Antifragile, written by Nassim Taleb. And in that book, he talks about, what it means to be anti-fragile, which is the Ziglar word for that is stronger. Well, the easiest way to explain it, according to Nassim, is this. You got to look at the opposite of anti-fragile, which is fragile. Fragile means weak, easily broken or destroyed. We don't want to be fragile. We don't want to melt in the furnace. We don't want to buckle under the pressure. We want to be strong. So what's the opposite of fragile? Most people will say things like resilient, robust, durable, strong, gritty. Man, those are great words, and they will help you stand tall. But there's a better word for that. The Ziglar word is stronger. Anti-fragile is also one of those words. What does that mean? It means this, that when the pressure comes, the attacks come, the trials come, the stressors, the shocks, the volatility, the noise, the mistakes, the faults, and the failures, when all of these things happen, we get stronger. Oh, And we know also scientifically, medically, family-wise, and biologically, look at this. This is the way God created us. If we want to build muscle, we lift weights. The muscle fibers are torn down and then they come back. How? Stronger. And women, many times when they reach menopause, they'll go to the doctor and the doctor will say, uh-oh, we don't want osteoporosis. You need to go home and start lifting weights so we can make your bones what? Stronger. What makes the bones stronger? Stress, pressure, tension, weights. Yeah, this is the way we're created. So scientifically, medically, biologically, in our family, and we can go even deeper, we can go spiritually. I was thinking about all these things and it reminded me of my father's life verse, Romans 8:28. And God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God. I mean, think about it. What if right now you truly believe and you adopt the mindset, hey, all these things, God's working together for good. I don't like it. I don't understand it. I wish it wasn't so, but it's going to work together for my good. Does that give you hope? It gives me hope. And then I looked at my own life verse, which, Cheryl, I can't even believe I picked this verse. James 1, 2, and 3. I was 12 when I chose this. I'd never had a trial in my life. And here's the verse. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. What? We're supposed to be joyful under all this stuff? That's crazy. But you know what? When we understand that we go through certain things, why do you think that is? Why do you think that's allowed? This is what I believe. I believe we're being purified and strengthened so that we are better able to step into our purpose. That's what I choose to believe. So this stronger mindset, another version of that same verse from the Message says this: when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. That's the way I feel right now. I feel attacked from every direction. And then look at the next part. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. You see what happens is when we look at this as a gift, as we look at it with joy, when we understand that we can now be a shining example as we stand tall in the furnace, what happens to those around us? They stand tall too. They take heart. Our kids grow up to be the greatest generation. And we're given promises. Now, I love John 16:33. There's two promises in here. The first one's not so good, but the second one makes up for it. The first promise is this: in this world, you will have trouble. If you've been alive for a few years, you know that it doesn't take a COVID-19 virus to make you realize you're going to have trouble in life, right? But look at the next part. Take heart. I have overcome the world. That's the ultimate hope. You see, tomorrow will be better, next week, next month, whenever it happens, and we will come through this stronger. And the way we lead those around us will do more to determine our future than this thing will. It's our choice, our attitude that makes the difference. And I'm looking at you, I'm encouraging you, adopt this stronger mindset. There is no downside. It's all upside, because guess what? We don't have a choice. We get to go through this, so we might as well grow through this. Now, Cheryl, I know that one of your passions and one of the things you do is you help people grow. You encourage people, you support them, you're there for them. So if somebody's watching, and some people are watching this video, they don't know who I am or who you are because a friend of a friend of a friend passed it on. And they're thinking, can I reach out? Absolutely you can. And others are already in your community and in your network. And so one of the things that Cheryl is gifted in is she helps people identify how they can be, do, and have more, and how they can develop a stronger mindset, a stronger approach. So Cheryl, how would they reach you?
Tom, first of all, I want to thank you so much for this. I know that I'm here to help, and if anybody needs anything, you can reach me on my cell at 704-425-0211 or email me at cheryl@cvcsuccessgroup.com. In fact, I'd be happy to set up a call with any of you just to talk about the strategies that will help you become stronger every day. Just let me know how I can help.
Cheryl, thank you so much. I'm grateful to call you part of the Ziglar family. Keep sharing that message of hope and encouragement and stronger. Thanks everybody for having me and watching this all the way to the end. Be blessed today.